Hey everybody, this is Matt Thomas at tradingparadigm.com, and today I want to discuss how our natural programming makes us all bad traders at the beginning. Nobody is an exception to this rule. Sure, some people might have a natural inclination for being more analytical or better at math or more mentally balanced, which can all help to some degree as a trader, but no matter who you are, operating effectively within the market environment requires changes. Everybody has to adapt in some way, and in most cases, in many ways. So you have to accept that there are no naturals. Great traders aren't born, they're made. The bottom line is that making the right trading decisions is often counterintuitive to our human nature. There are numerous biases and defense mechanisms that can potentially cloud our judgment. Confirmation bias, anchor effect, loss aversion, selective perception, survivorship bias, and many more. But today I want to cover three specific ones: the negativity bias, the Dunning-Kruger effect, and the gambler's fallacy. The negativity bias is a big one. This is our tendency as humans to actively search for danger and threats, to essentially operate out of survival mode, fight or flight. But when this anxiety-provoking state is essentially our default within markets, our decision-making process is going to be negatively impacted. In essence, what this means is that most market participants aren't very good at perceiving market information and events from an objective perspective. What most traders do instead is personalize it and view it from a fear-based perspective. That $1 move in a stock or any other trading instrument isn't just a $1 move. If it's a move against your position, it's typically also a shot at your ego, safety, and self-worth. But personalizing short-term outcomes like this is an extremely destructive way to play the game. Not just from a financial perspective, but from an emotional one as well. I can tell you right now that it's unsustainable to be psychologically battling the markets with attitudes, beliefs, and perspectives that are out of alignment with market characteristics. So it's worthwhile to do the work in order to align with them instead. You have to reprogram your mind to not get so easily tricked into the survival mindset. After all, the market poses no physical threat. It can't actually hurt you. Only you can with your own attitudes, perceptions, and actions. Next, I want to talk about the Dunning-Kruger effect, which is the tendency for individuals with low knowledge and skill to overestimate their abilities. And the same goes for the opposite, individuals with high knowledge and skill to underestimate their abilities. I see this phenomenon play out all the time amongst market participants, especially the beginners with limited knowledge and skill. When you don't know what you don't know, it's common to be overconfident. You think basic technical analysis and cookie-cutter setups is all there is to it. You learn a little bit about candlesticks, channels, trends, support and resistance, maybe a few price patterns and strategies, and you think you have all the answers. You'll be a multi-millionaire trader in no time. But as the experienced traders know, it's just not that simple. There's far more depth and nuance involved in becoming a consistently profitable trader. Understanding basic technical analysis concepts just isn't going to cut it. Being oblivious to what it takes to succeed in the market might have its perks, but it eventually comes at a price: being humbled by the market. This reminds me of the term forced awareness that Mark Douglas mentions in his classic trading psychology book, The Disciplined Trader. The message is that you can either take a proactive approach to the psychological blocks holding you back, or you can let the market keep trying to teach you progressively more painful and expensive lessons over and over again. The last bias I want to talk about today is the gambler's fallacy, which is the belief that a certain outcome is less or more likely to happen now based on the previous event or string of events. For example, the odds of flipping heads with a fair coin is 50%. But let's say you flip that coin 10 times in a row and all 10 were heads. Would you give a higher probability to the 11th flip being heads, since heads is hot right now? Or would you give a higher probability to the 11th flip being tails? Because how could it be heads again after 10 in a row? But the reality is that the previous string of flips has no bearing on the upcoming flip. It's still a 50-50 scenario, no matter what happened previously. To connect this back to trading, you shouldn't give too much weight to short-term outcomes. You can't read too far into the result of one or a few trades. You have to keep the law of large numbers in mind and compile a large enough sample size in order to accurately calculate the probabilities. So to wrap things up, I want to reiterate that there are no naturals in trading. I wholeheartedly believe that. Some individuals might inherently be more balanced, patient, objective, or insert any positive characteristic that most great traders have. But nobody is perfectly built to operate flawlessly within the market environment. It's impossible. This isn't meant to be disparaging or discouraging, thinking that nobody has what it takes to be a great trader, because it should actually be the opposite. If you're willing to put the time and effort into self-transformation, there's quite a bit of opportunity on the other side. It just requires a growth mindset and deliberate practice. By consciously thinking, feeling, and behaving certain ways over and over again, new thoughts, feelings, and behaviors that were once unnatural can become automatic. This is how habits and skills are developed, through repetition. In the end, this development of new habits and skills that actually suit the environment you're operating in, the market, is what it takes to become a great trader. You can find the link to this full article down in the description, and I'll talk to you in the next video. Take care.